Hello everyone, your girl Tay here, and I'm bringing you another Let's Talk Wild podcast episode. Today is November 16th, 2023, and this is episode 49. Rats in the city. Who run the world? Rats. Well, not the world, but definitely the cities. For this week's episode, I'll discuss which cities have the highest rat populations, the New York Transit's new Subway Rat Detector, rats and your pets, and my personal story on being a former rat pet owner. But before we get into that, make sure you guys follow and subscribe to the podcast on all podcasting and social media platforms. You can support the pod by becoming a subscription member. You could go to my podcast website on Buzzsprout to sign up. I'll have the link in the description box. Also, hit to YouTube, subscribe to the channel, and check out the videos over there. Once you're done listening over here, you guys already know the drill. Now, let's talk wild. Rats. Some people like them, some people don't. Is there an in-between when it comes to them, really? I mean, depending on the circumstances. For me, I don't like the big rats that we can find in the cities. You know, the ones you can find sitting on the trash can, eating a slice of pizza without a care in the world. And that I have seen multiple times growing up, okay? A rat just eating a burger right out the box, okay? Just sitting there minding their business, doing what they doing. And I seen a bunch of rat fights as well, okay? Those things can get ugly and nasty, especially when they fighting for food. Yuck, okay? But yeah, I don't like those type of rats, but I do have a soft spot for rats that are pets. When I was growing up, we had all types of animals as pets. My mother doesn't like mice, rats, or any other rodents. So, of course, we always had a cat. And the cats were for me, too. I'm a cat lady, of course. And then my mother and father went and got 2 ball pythons named Bonnie and Clyde. I didn't know where the names came from until I got a little older. And I was like, why did they name these snakes this? And I had to look it up and I was like, oh, wow. So original, mom and dad, Bonnie and Clyde. And when my father wasn't home, guys, my mother would come home with a box of rats to feed the snakes. And I was the one to get the box out the car, depending on the amount she had, separate them, put them in their cages, and then feed the snakes. I remember my sister tried feeding them and she dropped the rat in the house. Oh my goodness. You know my mother was freaking out, okay? Dropped in the house? Absolutely not. My sister, I remember, like, she never tried to pick up a rat or feed the snakes again after that. But, what sense does that make? Mother, how are you scared of rodents, but you get pets that eat rodents? Like, what? She listens to the podcast, so she'll probably call me after she hears this and ask why I put her on Front Street. But for real, you know, like, I'm just now thinking about it. Like, girl, you knew what you was doing. She knew what she was doing. Ma, you knew what you was doing. You knew that I was your child who was into animals. And you probably felt like if you needed me to feed the snakes or handle the rats, I could. And I did. But I remember she got some white rats and one of them was pregnant. And she didn't want to feed her to the snakes. You know, my mother was like, I'm not cruel like that. I'm not going to feed her to no snakes while she's pregnant. That's cruel, right? So I had a hamster cage. So I took her and I kept her and I named her Mama. Y'all, when I tell y'all, she had those babies, she would eat, feed them, put them to bed, and she would run on that hamster wheel for a long time, y'all. For a long, long time. We used to joke about her trying to get her figure back after having her children. She wanted to drop that extra weight. Mama had things to do, okay? And the thing she had to do was escape. Because when her babies got older, They all escaped the hamster cage, and mama did too. Okay. I didn't know how flexible rats were until that day. But, they squeezed out those bars and made their way to the basement of our home, and that was that. I knew rats played a big part in the Black Plague, but I learned later on in life more about other diseases they could pass on to humans and pets, like leptospirosis, a disease caused by the bacteria from infected animals. Pets and humans could catch the disease by being in contact with contaminated soil, food, water, and the urine of an infected animal. Pet owners can get their pets vaccinated to help prevent their pets from catching a certain strain of the bacteria. According to the CDC, the vaccine does not provide 100% protection. This is because there are many strains of the bacteria that causes leptospirosis, and the vaccine does not provide immunity against all strains. It is important to get your pet vaccinated again, even if it gets leptospirosis, because it can still get infected with a different strain of the bacteria. Pet owners should always take steps to prevent themselves and others from becoming infected with the disease due to an infected pet. The primary mode of transmission of leptospirosis from pets to humans is through direct or indirect contact with contaminated animal tissues, organs, or urine. Always contact your veterinarian and your physician if you have concerns about a possible exposure to an infected animal. End quote. When I would ask pet owners if they want to get the lepto vaccine for their dog, a lot of them would say, "What's that?" And I would tell them about the disease, and some of them would say, "Oh, well, my dog doesn't need that because they're going to be a mostly inside dog." What? I wouldn't go back and forth because I've done my job. I've explained everything. The doctor will come in after me and recommend the same vaccine. So should I put it in the system now or later after your conversation with the veterinarian? Like, just let me know, because your dog still has to go outside to use the bathroom. Like, I know this dog isn't going to be confined in the house or being picked up its entire life. Like, come on now. You live in a city that has rats, okay? And you know what we say, prevention is key. I do get my dog Gambit his lepto vaccine just because I told y'all I haven't seen any rats in my neighborhood in years, honey, because we got feral cats and they don't play that okay? And we got foxes too. They don't play. We got an array of wildlife around here that, don't play. Period. They don't play around and they don't play with them rats, okay? So they help control the population numbers of, organic rat control. But I still get his lepto vaccine because we do take him when we go fishing and stuff. We do take him with us. So, any other critters out there, that got the lepto in their urine. And when we go hiking and stuff, I don't want him just stepping in a puddle of the urine and then licking his paws and then he's infected with it. And then it's just too much. Okay. But they said that it doesn't protect against all strains. But like I said, prevention is key. I'd rather him have some type of prevention than no prevention. So if you guys are interested in the vaccine, please talk to your veterinarian to see if that is a good choice for your pet. Now let's get into the 2023 list of cities with the most rat populations. But before we get into that, help your girl raise her podcast listener population numbers by subscribing to Let's Talk Wild on YouTube and on all social media and podcasting platforms. You can support the pod by signing up and becoming a member. You can go to my podcast website on Buzzsprout to sign up. I'll have the link in the description box. Now, let's crawl back into the show. Oh, it's a dog barking. Y'all may hear it, y'all may not hear it, but the neighbor's dog is barking and it's all good. It's all good because this is Let's Talk Wow, and he wanted to make a voice cameo. That's okay. Shout out to you. And they need to bring you in the house because it's cold outside. Don't make me come knock on their door. Now, let's crawl back into the rats. Orkin, the pest control company with over 120 years of experience in the pest control industry, has released their city rat rank in the United States. They rank metro regions by the number of new rodent treatments performed from September 1st, 2022 to August 31st, 2023. This ranking includes both residential and commercial pest control treatments. They had a list of 50, but I'll be only going through the top 10. You guys let me know, who do you guys think holds the top 3 spots? Make sure you guys leave a comment on the Let's Talk About YouTube channel. Coming in at 10 is Cleveland and Akron/Akron. 9 is Detroit. 8 is Denver. 7 is Baltimore. 6 is Philadelphia. 5, San Francisco. 4, Washington, D.C. We're in the top 3. Y'all ready? 3, New York. 2, Los Angeles. And 1, holding the top number 1 spot, is Chicago. I'm not surprised that New York is in the top 3 because they have a new New York Transit Subway Rat Detector feature. They want to know how many rats are riding the MTA and where they're going. According to transitapp.com, they have enlisted thousands of rodent spotters across the 5 boroughs to rank the rattiest stations. Oh my goodness, rattiest stations, really? When the app detects that you've arrived at a subway station, they will ask if you have seen any rats. The rat analysis data from the last 30 days, last updated on Wednesday, November 15th, 2023, shows that there were rats reported on 40% of the subway trips. The 3 stations that had the highest percentage of rat spottings over the last 30 days were 191st Street 1, Grant Avenue A, and 140th Street A holds the number 1 spot. So I guess the 1 and the A stuff is their platforms. I know Baltimore, New York, our subway systems is, kind of different because they have so many. So I guess the 1 and the A's are the platforms, I believe. But it's safe to say that the rats really do run the city of New York. So much so that now there's an app to count the species in the subway system. You can't deny it. The rats are in the city and they run it. From the sewers to the toilet, oh yes, rats are great swimmers. There are species of rodents called water rats in Australia and other locations around the world. But the city rats, they're also able to swim, not better than the actual water rats, but they can swim well enough to end up in your toilet by way of the sewer system. Scientists say that New York is sinking and the water levels are rising. Will New York be the new Atlantis? And will the rats continue to adapt? Who's going to last when it's all said, sunk, and done? My bet is on the rats. But you guys let me know how you feel about today's episode. Rats in the city. Leave a comment, follow, and subscribe to the podcast on all podcasting and social media platforms. Don't forget that you can now support the podcast by joining the monthly membership subscription. You can go to my podcast website on Buzzsprout to sign up. I'll have the link in the description box. Love yourself, one another, your pets, and the animals. I'll talk to you guys not next week, okay? That's a little holiday week. I'm going to take a little break to chill with my family and stuff. Even though I don't really celebrate that holiday, I still take time out to just chill with my family, So I'm taking a week off next week, and I'll see you guys the week after next for the podcast episode, the 50th podcast episode. I'm really excited. I don't know what I'm gonna talk about. I think I'm just gonna get on the mic and talk. But I will be here on the Let's Talk Wild YouTube channel on Sunday for my Naked and Afraid review and recap. And I'll also be posting some celebrity animal interactions on the Let's Talk Wild YouTube channel. So make sure you guys head over there and subscribe and interact with your girl. Leave a comment. I love hearing your thoughts. I love it. Even if we disagree, I still like hearing you guys take on things. So love yourself, one another, your pets, and the animals. I'll talk to you guys in a few. Bye.